Hello everybody and welcome to Prone to Play. I am happy to have you here. Today I want to start a Let's Play series of Satisfactory. If you are new to the game, in Satisfactory you are sent to a lonely planet where you can find and process all kinds of different resources. Doing so lets you manufacture increasingly complex products, which are then again used in order to progress through a number of milestones and phases. The focus hereby is mostly on the automation of the manufacturing processes. And as the products get more complex, so does your factories. The developers of this game announced teasers for an upcoming update very recently, which will be update 8, and I'm excited for new stuff to come out, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of a head start for a new file, so I start the file still in update 7 right now. I also want to mention that I have a very specific goal in my mind that I want to reach during this series, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Since my first run started in the grasslands, I want to take a different route this time and start my second file in the desert. You will also see the explanation video that players get to see at the very beginning of the tutorial, which is called Tier 0 in this game, but I myself will start at Tier 1 right away. Alright, that should be enough intro from my side. See you in the desert.
Attention Pioneer. The following instructional video is a summary of your impending duties as an exoplanetary pioneer for Fixit Incorporated. Fixit Pioneers have 3 cyclical assigned pillars of work to ultimately accomplish project assembly. Use provided blueprints to build the necessary buildings. Chart the planet and gather resources to provide desired results and improve your infrastructure. Make sure to report any unusual discoveries to R&D for analysis. Expand your factories, outposts, and pipelines through automation and augmentation. That's it. Get to work and be effective. Warning, planetfall imminent. Please remain seated during full procedure. Atmospheric entry in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Planetfall procedure initialized.
Alright. So, here we are in the desert. Okay. Where do we actually start? I think I have a spot in my mind. Basically, I know from my first run a spot where you have all the necessary resources that are the basic components, let's say it like this, quite next to each other, which is iron, which is copper, and which is limestone. And this is, the most important stuff that you need from the very beginning. And also we have quite limited resources for power production. At the very start you are you need to pick up leaves and convert it into biomass. So since we have a little forest right around the corner as well, in my opinion this is quite a good place to start. And if the available resources don't fit our needs anymore, then we can simply move on by picking up our bases again and moving forward. And this is our basis. I hope I don't overload too much with information. I try to constrain myself as much as possible and do not jump from one topic to another. Spaceport is arriving as well. And by the way, this is already my second attempt of the first episode. I recorded for the first time, and I was letting most of the audio settings on default, which I regretted in editing because I didn't recognize the music and the ambient volume and all the other stuff to be so loud. I think it was unbearable, so I'm starting again. But yeah, I didn't progress that much through the game, so it's basically the same. And yeah, as I already mentioned, this is our basis. It's called the hub, and from here on you can choose the different milestones. You can see the tiers that are available at the moment, and at the top right you have the main objective of the, let's say, the main quest of this game, and the current objective is to build the space elevator. We already have this available in our building menu, but it needs quite a lot of resources, as we can see. So yeah, we are not focusing on that yet. Instead, I want to focus on the milestones that we have available. Currently, we skipped tier 0, which is basically the tutorial of this game, and it includes a lot of manual crafting with the portable miners and stuff, where you have to pick up stuff, and it shows you why it's important to automate your fabrications. And yeah, I didn't want to go through that again, so I basically started right away at tier 1. And we have 3 milestones in tier 1 available and another 5 in tier 2. But yeah, let's start with the first things first. What I also did in my first run was a lot of conveyor spaghetti and yeah, a lot of chaos. So in order to avoid that, I want to start structured from the very beginning. And yeah, in order to build a good foundation for this milestone gives you all the needs that you have in order to organize yourself. So let's pick the first milestone for foundations, ramps and basic walls. And it shows you on the top right, if you have a milestone selected, what you need for it. And basically why I think this is a very good starting point is because you need concrete, which you can produce with limestone, and you need iron rods and iron plates, which you can produce with iron, which is right around this corner. And yeah, for the second milestone you will need copper as well, which is here, but first things first. In my opinion you need, or it's not my opinion, but it's a fact that you need a lot of concrete in this game. So let's start by, actually let's not start with building up a limestone production, concrete production, but let's start with providing power for our machines. And in order to prepare this, I will just run around this forest a little bit, pick up some leaves and then craft this into biomass, so we have yeah, some power resources in order to start our first manufacturings. Alright, I was a little bit busy in the last minute. I picked up some leaves in this forest and converted it to biomass already. So all that's left is to feed it into these biomass burners. And just to be sure, let's turn them off for the moment. And also in order to not give power grids more consumption than they can provide, I will connect these to one power grid. So if they are turned on now, we have one power grid which can provide up to 14 megawatts of power. And now we can put up our first streamlined production, which is limestone. We extract 60 here. Then by holding the control button we align these two together and convert limestone into concrete, which will then, I don't know if this is too high, oh perfect, which will then get backed up in this storage container. then we simply link these with the power grid. And turn everything on. And now the lights should turn green, and as soon as this constructor gets limestone, it should turn green as well. Now it's yellow. Yes, perfect. And there we have our first little tiny factory. Okay, this will run in the background, and the provided biomass should last at least until the end of the episode. And now we can take care of the other necessary parts, which are iron plates and iron rods. Now, in the surrounding area, this is the only iron node, and the next one is, I think, around like 500 meters away. Yeah, 470, 530. So what I will do for the start is just to put down one miner, which will feed into one smelter. In order to produce iron ingots. And then we have a constructor, which will convert our ingots into iron plates for the start. And then again, store it into a container. I will let this run until I have the necessary amount of iron plates, and then I will switch up the production into iron rods. I know I could have chosen a place where two iron nodes are close to each other, but I think this is fine for now, since it doesn't take that long anyways. And in the next tier, in the next milestone, we will unlock more logistics parts. For example, we will also get access to a conveyor splitter, because right now we are extracting 60 iron ore per minute, but one smelter can only handle 30 per minute, so we are basically wasting 50% of this output. But with a conveyor splitter, we can split up the extracted iron ore into two smelters, and then we can produce iron plates and iron rods by splitting the resources at the same time. So it's only like a matter for the first couple of minutes, and in my opinion this is not a big deal. So let's just hook this up with power. And then we should see the iron ore coming out, yes. Okay, since this will be 100% production, we will need around 5 minutes in order to produce 100 iron plates, but we have already 76 in stock, so this should only take a short amount of time. And we have still 30 iron rods, so we have to switch up this in a bit. And since we are waiting, we can already prepare the next streamline factory, which will be necessary for the following milestone, and in order to unlock the splitter that I just mentioned. And for this we will need wire as well, which we can produce by extracting resources from this copper node. So everything is in close range. And we do the same here as with all the other stuff. Extracting iron ore, converting into copper ore, which which will then be put into copper ingots, and then will be needed for the wire. Let's go up again. Combining all the cables. It doesn't really matter where I hook it up. Let's just do it there in order to avoid clipping. And now we have consumption of 22 megawatts. This should increase as soon as these two machines get into action. But yeah, now we have already 3 little streamlined factories built up in only a few minutes. Now this is very linear, and this is only for the basic products. As soon as we progress further through the game, this will get more and more complex, and yeah. But you will see what I mean when the time comes, and everybody who already played this game knows exactly what I mean. So yeah, I just switched up this factory into producing iron rods, since we already have more than the necessary amount of iron plates. Do we? No, we don't. But no problem, I will simply produce the last ones manually with the ingots that I just fit in. God damn. Since I have to wait now anyways, let me just pick up a few iron ores manually. I don't need much for the last few plates. But basically, yeah, all the stuff necessary for the first milestone is produced passively now anyways, so yeah. If we let a few minutes pass, this is no big deal at all. Now, although I just created the last few iron plates manually, I want to avoid manual crafting as much as possible, since in my first playthrough of this game, this was a very big mistake that I made. Now in hindsight, I can see that, since I put down the machines and productions necessary at that time for given milestone or phase or whatever, and as soon as I finished one milestone, I teared it down again and built up the next factory from scratch, which eliminates the biggest factor or your biggest friend in this game, which is time, because all this stuff now is producing manually, automatically in the background over time. And for example, while focusing on 3 other things and building up 3 other things, this machine or these machines already produced more than 100 concrete. Sorry, I lost my line of thought there. As I said, the biggest friend in this game is time, and this machine, for example, produced more than 100 concrete passively in the background, while not requiring any maintenance from my side whatsoever. So the best option, if possible, is to just set something up for producing and just letting it run in the background. How's the power looking? Yeah, we just basically used up a quarter of the fat biomass. Let's check the iron rods. 58. All right. Also looking good here. Yeah, what can we do in the meantime while waiting? We can pick up this power slug, or slugs even. Yeah, also while picking up leaves, I turned the settings for the creatures in this game onto retaliate, I think is the word, which basically means they don't do anything. Usually per default setting they would attack me as soon as I come in a certain range. And yeah, I basically have to eliminate them, but there are two other options in the advanced settings of this game. One is passive, where they don't do anything at all, and the third one is retaliate, where they are passive as long as I don't attack them. But when I do, they will fall back. Now in my opinion you can choose how to play the game in the way you prefer, but I prefer a more relaxed version and I want to focus on the building of this game, so yeah, I chose to switch the setting into retaliate and yeah, so that I don't have to always fight animals and creatures only when I want to or when I need the stuff from them. God damn it, can't climb this. Ah, now I do. Alright, all around the map you will be able to find power slugs. In this case these are yellow. There are three different types: blue, yellow and purple. And what they do is you can convert these into power shards. These will be important at a later stage of the game. For now this is not available for us, so I think I store them just for now. But yeah, basically what this will unlock later is under or overclocking in the game. For example, now this miner can extract 60 ore per minute while requiring 5 megawatts of power, and only 50%. At the moment it's on more production, but this is backing up at the moment, and yeah, this production percentage is going down. So yeah, basically this will go down eventually to 50% production rate, and we can underclock this to 50% production, so it's running constantly while requiring less power. So yeah, this is basically the mechanics behind power slugs and power shards, where you can adjust the production rates of machines and under or overclocking them, while the power will rise or fall, the power requirement will rise or fall exponentially. This is important to keep in mind. It's not yeah, linear, the needed power, but it's more exponentially. Alright, we have more than enough iron rods, so yeah, let's just keep it for now. And all that's left is picking up the remaining concrete. Perfect. By the way, I'm moving a lot while slide cancelling and slide jumping, or whatever you wanted to call, because in this game I think you're moving kind of slow at the start. So this is walking, this is running, and yeah, you will be able to craft equipment in order to move faster in this game. But one thing that you can do from the very start is you can slide, you can jump, and when you slide and jump basically right afterwards, it gives you a little bit of momentum. So basically slide, jump, and it lets you move faster through the environment. I try to not extensively do this in order to, yeah, like, don't give you a headache while watching, but yeah, it's just the fastest way of movement at the moment in this game, and yeah. Alright, we have all the necessary stuff for the first milestone, and all that's left is feeding it.
Milestone reached. You have unlocked several structures aimed to provide the first needed to build basic factory infrastructure and improved overview. Building these will provide a grid for more advanced organizing and sectioning of your factory.
Okay, now this spaceport is gone for another minute and 30 seconds, and during this time we cannot complete another milestone, but we can already select it and let us show what equipment we need for that, or what items we need for that. And yeah, we already have the necessary wire for this, but I think the iron production will take some time for this. Yeah, okay. Now what I will do in the meantime is, as you can see, the hub biomass burners are limited to providing 40 megawatts of power, and I think we almost, why is it falling this way? The miners are turning up and down. Yeah, but if everything runs at the same time, we are basically almost using the whole capacity of these two biomass burners. So at the very beginning I want to build up a biomass burner power plant, and I will use foundations in order to do so, and I will align it to the world grid. Basically you can put stuff wherever you want, but aligning it to the world grid and building more than one factory, building modular factories makes it easier later in the game to...
Milestone exchange concluded. Fix-it freighter re-entry complete.
Okay, thanks for that. Where was I? Yeah, aligning your stuff to the world grid will make it easier later on to connect everything together and to align everything. Okay, I don't have any iron plates left. As I said, this is my second attempt and I was really unsatisfied with the sound settings, but now I'm actually worried that the sound is too quiet. Yeah, I will see in a minute during editing, but yeah, it might be that now it's a little bit too quiet, but if that is the case, then I will simply adjust the settings again for the next episode. Let's just keep it for now. At least it's not blasting the ears. Okay. A little bit of a foundation setting. What do we need? Oh. Can just build up one for now. But I can show you what my plan is. So basically, each biomass burner can provide 30 megawatts of power, and I want to build a little bit of a power plant here, since biomass is not produced automatically, at least not completely. It cannot be feeded into these biomass burners automatically, but what can be done, I'm short on iron plates. What can be done is I can pick up leaves, put them into a container, which feeds them into a constructor and produces biomass, which then will be backed up in another container as well again. So yeah, I simply have to pick up leaves and not craft biomass automatically, and when it's crafted I can pick it up at one spot and yeah, provide it to the biomass burners, at least until we can automate power production, which will be possible soon. This is basically the first bigger goal that I have in mind, to automate power production. But for now, biomass burners have to do it. And the idea is to put some down here in a line, maybe on the other side as well. Depends on the needed amount of power. But anyway, what we can do is, now I'm missing cable. Cable is actually not on the production line right now, since it's produced by using wire. But since we don't need that much of it at the moment, I don't want to deal with it right now. Okay. This has to convert leaves into biomass and feed it into another container. And I'm missing plates again. This is basically the struggle of the very start. You don't have enough stuff all the time. But the longer productions run passively in the background, the less and less of a problem this will be. Now, I think this was 35 megawatts of power in total, so I can still align this. And let's just do a quick testing. Pick up some leaves again. Since this is not set on wood but on leaves, I cannot put wood into here, although this is basically the more efficient way of producing biomass, but it would mess up the production line, so yeah, I have to keep that in mind. And now, yeah, this is producing biomass. And here it comes. And it will back up here. And then I can provide it to the biomass burners. And this is basically the idea of the starting power plant, the starting power production. And what I will do is, in between this and the following episode, I will let the game run a little bit, gather as many leaves as possible, and yeah, make sure that I have enough fuel so I don't have to worry about that during another episode, but can focus on the fun stuff of the game, which is building up factories. Speaking of, how's our iron production looking? Now in hindsight, this might not be the best spot ever. You are close to a forest and to fuel, but since I want to do that between episodes, and I think the first gathering I will cut out, or I have cut out already, I don't need this short distance to leaves, but no, yeah, I'm committed. Okay, this will take another minute or so. In the meantime, we can focus on this that I spotted a few minutes ago, which is basically another resource of this game. It's quartz. Okay, I figured that as soon as I pick it up, the game will recognize that I found something new, but I think I have to unlock this milestone before this, which is basically field research, and it will unlock a map, which is very handy. Yeah, I'm mad that I don't have this already, but it will also unlock the molecular analysis machine, the MAM. And there you can put in all the new stuff that you find, for example quartz, and it will give you a little research tree where you can unlock very helpful stuff and so on. And usually when you have this unlocked and you pick something new up, the ADA or the UI computer voice will activate or will be triggered and tell you to put it into the MAM and stuff. And so I was expecting her to tell me to research it, but since I don't have the MAM unlocked now, I think this was a little bit too early. But we should have enough power iron rods by now. We do, and we can switch this again to iron plates. And craft some iron plates in the meantime manually. I will speed this up a little bit. Okay, done. How much is that now? 70, alright. Let me just dump everything that I don't need right now into this box. Power slugs are already in there. Yes, now what? Let's just check what we need further down the line. We need screws, which need iron rods again. We need wire, which we have plenty of. And for the next phases, we need cable, rotors, which we cannot do now, but yeah. These are basically okay. So let's just focus on the basic part. But I cannot extend my factory any further since the max consumption is already the limit of my 2 biomass burners of the hubs. So instead, I will just simply focus on extending my power output. Why does this? Let's just do another row of foundation here. This has to clip for now, doesn't matter. And this together. All right. Let's just dump this in so we all have it on one spot. All right. After some thinking, I decided to make a cut and actually do what I planned, which is gathering some leaves in the forest, producing biomass for the biomass burners for the next episode, so I don't have to worry about running out of energy, and also letting the machines back up some basic items so we can progress further through the milestones and we don't have to wait minutes. And I want to avoid that you have to watch me waiting, so I will end the first episode here. It was a fun experiment. I'm excited how the result will turn out after editing. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will join me again in the next episode.